Hello, Bill Molyneux here, and I'm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, visiting with the great Mr. John at the Gettysburg Miniature Shop. Hi, Mr. John. What do we have on the table today?
Hi, Mr. Bill. Always nice to see you again. Today we have a 54mm ACW battle, more like a St. Petersburg setup. We just put out everything we have basically and hope it looks good and plays well.
In 54 millimeter.
All 54s, a lot of the figures are expeditionary forces as well as marks, as well as Britons, accurates, Italiaries. Good representation of plastic here. In fact, it's all plastic.
A lot of nice plastic, Mr. John. Boy, I'm gonna I've been doing a lot of Civil War 54 millimeter. All the figures, of course, came from your shop, and all that fencing I bought from you has come out well. So I get a lot of complaints I move the camera too fast. So I'm trying to be slower. Alright, I'm going to pause the camera. Alright, Mr. John says we got to hit the siege guns. So this table, how big is this? 10 feet? 12 feet?
This is 6 by 12.
6 by 12. I think John up at the police department, you guys should put a 6 by 12 table in the police department in Broome County, New York. These siege guns, this position is stunning. I don't see how the Yankees can take this. I mean, what are those? 60-pound Columbiads or something? I mean, those
100 pounds.
100-pounders. But once again, Mr. John has a stunning table, and he changes this out every couple months, right?
Yeah.
So I like the shading on these horses. You know, I just spray paint everything and just throw it together. Here's our pieces of work, and it's get down into some of the detail. Now, Mr. John, will you be playing a miniature game with these, or is this just set up as a diorama for this game?
This will be a game. There'll be some modifications and some reinforcements, but this will be a brother versus brother game.
A brother versus brother, and I use brother versus brother game rules. Ivor, and he belongs to our Nottingham Wargaming Group Facebook site. So, brother against brother, 54 millimeter, super duper scale, just stunning. Well, and we have an observation balloon. Just hitting the walls and ceilings. Everyone's always sending me notes. Hey, hit the walls and ceilings. Yeah. And then I'm going to ask Mr. John if there's anything in the main shop I should be videoing. So I'm going to pause the camera here. We'll go in the main area. Well, we're in the main part of the shop, and Mr. John just got in this incredible Roman, is this called a galley?
Yeah.
And we're going to move in close. 54 millimeter, John?
Yes.
It's 54 millimeter scale.
It's done by Conti Collectibles.
Conti Collectibles. And I think this would look great in someone's wargaming table. I think Jack in Arizona would just, I think he could use this. You know, it's amazing the things Mr. John has. I mean, right over here we have a little D-Day tank battle BMC kit. We have our 54 millimeter figures are everywhere. What line of 54s do you carry in the painted metal? I had someone ask me, and I didn't. John Jenkins or something. Someone asked if you carry those.
Yes, we have John Jenkins, W. Britons, King and Country.
You have them all.
Well, we try to keep all the good ones.
And if you're not into military history, but you're into sci-fi, Mars Attacks, The Walking Dead, and oh my goodness, Mr. John brings it out.
This is done by a local artist, Frank. He's terrific.
That's incredible. Let me get over here to the poor human. He's been killed. Yak, 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 yak. So, if you haven't been to Mr. John's miniature shop in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, he's always been a supporter of my board games. And I have to do a shout out. He's got my Struggle for New France. This is a Peter Schultz Games edition. Blue Panther is going to be re-releasing that. And of course, Mr. John's going to be carrying my new Brandywine game. They're supposed to ship in to him next week. He has the whole line of the Command and Colors Napoleonic games, which are very popular, and the Ancients. And once we get production up and running better, I believe you might have a copy of the French Indian War Volume 1 and Volume 2 that I've done videos on recently. Right now we're trying to get all the gift shops at the historic sites fulfilled first. Then we'll take care of Mr. John here. So I'm going to hit the one back wall. And he still has the Stuart tank, so if you need a Stuart tank, they're still here. One is remote control, the other one is static. $300 for the static one. And right next door, the Guns of Navarone. So, I think that's about it for this video. I'm going to pause and ask Mr. John if there's anything left that I need to ask him about. I don't know what these boxes are. Song, Ice, and Fire, but there's a whole batch of them. I've never even heard of these. What are these, Mr. John? Are these miniatures?
Those are done by Simon Miniatures. They're based on the Game of Thrones. It's all the figures from the Game of Thrones.
Oh, the Game of Thrones.
But they're in about a 38 to 40 millimeter scale plastic. But they're beautifully sculpted.
Holy cow, I didn't even know these existed.
Yeah, they're super nice.
Super nice. And these are for the Game of Thrones figures from the TV show or whatever it was on what, HBO?
They're called A Song of Ice and Fire.
Song of Ice and Fire. And looks like you have an entire warehouse of them. Well, I have to pick out my figures, my plastic figures for my French Indian War 54 millimeter that I'm doing the diorama for Fort Necessity on November 4th. I'll be there doing a talk on French Indian War wargaming. And so I guess I got to do some shopping. And I think that'll be it for now. I'm going to say thank you, Mr. John, for having me let me do another video of your shop. And stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and shop at Mr. John's Miniature Shop in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.